Hey guys, here's your first lesson video. It was great meeting you yesterday. We did a few things, but let's start with absolute square one. I've got an acoustic guitar here. Got my feet flat on the floor, shoulder width apart, plus or minus. And I'm holding the guitar like I was in the video that I've included called How to Hold the Guitar, where I'm slung around here. Got my humerus right on that situation. Cool. We hold a pick like this. You can certainly find, a picture on the internet as well, but not on your knuckle, which is something people do intuitively at first, and not with the whole thing sticking out or just this somewhere in the middle. Cool. At first, you might feel like I'm going to use my hand because it's more intuitive. That's because you've been using your hand for stuff your whole life. Let's just get used to having this piece of plastic. Cool. So, the first chord we learned is E minor chord. Looks like that. So, pause, look at your tablature, and refer to that as needed. When you're forming a new chord, if you practiced within 24 hours of the lesson, there's a decent chance you remember some of this, which is a good policy in general to retain more from the actual lesson, just even if you play through everything once. Even spending just 10 minutes on it. So nonetheless, here's E minor. You'd start at the 6th string, which is this same string. 6th string and 1st string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to tell you how to tune, don't worry. So it's like that's open. Then the 5th string, so 2nd fret, middle finger, 2nd finger. Then right beneath it, my ring finger. And that's the entire shape. We're left-hand focused at the moment. The position that we're going to be in as far as our thumb goes is like so. What you may be finding yourself tempted to do is throw your thumb way far over the top. And I want to remind you now that you want your guitar at a 90-degree angle, not out like this. You won't be able to see as well, but it should be like if you peek over, you can see. But just X% of the things we do, we won't be able to see. So we're always looking at, so we're like this with my thumb flush against the fretboard, not like this or this or this or anything like that. And there's a classical thumb position, but this is our default one for open chords or first position chords with open strings as well as fretted notes like E minor. So there we are. And, just in your own practice, just push down as hard as you can, pick through one note at a time, and just make sure that you're actually successfully sounding the chord, and that will always be the way to check that. It's just push down as hard as you can and hit each string. Cool. So the other chord we learned is A minor, and these two function as a unit and move down together while my first finger comes in playing the first fret of the 2nd string, 1st fret. And since we're using these two fingers, there's pretty much no which finger should I use. That's the one that's over on this side. Cool, so same process, just make sure everything's working out. At the moment, though, in the grand scheme of things, we'll avoid the 6th string in this chord, E. It's actually one of the chord tones, so we're going to err on the side of decisive strumming and just pretend we're hitting all 6 strings, which totally sounds fine. Excuse me. I played A major. Cool, so we've got E minor and A minor. When you're focused on the left-hand change, you're going to want to just put aside time to be myopic and just do this over and over. The thing is to stay consciously engaged with what you're doing in each attempt, as opposed to turning it into this looped kind of guessing thing. Just and you can strum once, or you can just make the shape, making sure you're coming straight in at the strings, so you're not touching any other strings. Those are the reasons the string won't sound. 1, I'm not pushing down enough. 2, oops, I'm touching other strings. You've touched your fingernails by now, presumably, if you're trying this. And if my fingernails were really long, I might be making contact with that string, for instance. Cool. So you just have to do that really fast. And I know your hands hurt at this point. That's what's up. But why don't you go ahead and pause your video. And we're going to zoom in on left hand at the moment. Not worry too much about what you're doing over here. Just try to go, this exists, and don't make it sound musical. Just pause as long as it takes to reason through it. Cool. So that's how we're going to encounter every new left-hand change, is to zoom in on it rather than try to get it into context. Right hand. We got this thing where it really appears we should just line the pick up here and play. Whereas what we're actually doing in order to just barely graze each string is using this wider range of motion. I want them all the way up here and all the way down there accordingly. Excuse me. Hitting all the strings with the same amount of attack. Attack refers to how hard we strike with our pick. So rhythm 1, so to speak, on the page is just getting used to strumming down. It's really tempting to turn this into a song that goes, and you can do that, but this is really just your chance to interact with, I am trying to strum once. I am trying to strum once. So again, you want to try to really stay consciously focused on what you're doing, not get into the guessing headspace. One good effort, pause, reset, one good effort. It's not the end of the world if you do it the other way. It's just this is what's most efficient for muscle memory. Awesome. So rhythm 1 does have rhythm. Cool. So go ahead and pause your video and get comfortable with playing that rhythm. Right on. So now that we've done that, we're now looking at alternate strumming. Down, up, down, up. You can just practice a couple ups. It's the correlative motion to what you were doing down. Not to oversimplify things, but it really is. It's the same thing happening. It's all moving at your elbow. There's not really much wrist involvement in full-on strumming. But your wrist will be on the looser side, but it's not really that involved elbow movement. Cool. So that'll sound like. But first, just going. Trying to get some good ones out like that. Great. So let's do something actually musical. We're going to play rhythm 2. Trying to do it once for E minor and once for A minor. That would sound like. So there we go. So here's the good news. We do have to move really fast, but we have a split second where we actually are hitting no chord left-hand wise. And it's the very last strum before we change places. If I was going to zoom in on the last before I go to A minor, this point in the song, right here, what we saw I just did is I want it in slow motion, which when you slow down, it can sound bad. But in actuality, just going just sounds like guitar playing. So we have 2 split seconds to move. And, again, I'm assuming that you already spent time doing this. If not, it'll become apparent now why we wanted to spend that time. We're trying to do both of these things at once. So all good. Trying to instill order of operations for thinking about stuff going forward. We won't always go into this much detail about. It'll always just be implied that I want you to work on things in short sections where you finish as you go. Cool, so that's our open strum. Like that. So you can just zoom in on that. If you pause, it's going to sound bad, and that's okay. So there's rhythm 2. Same going back and forth. We picked these 2 chords because they're very similar shapes. Versus like G and D. So there are a lot more chords that are at comparable difficulty level. Pause, get comfortable up to there. Then rhythm 3 is just half 1, half 2. It's down, 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 up, down, up. So you can apply the same process. That'll sound like. But you can go much slower. And so forth. Like that. And rhythm 4 I just kind of gave you for funsies. It's a longer rhythm. Only do this if you get here. In fact, you might want to skip ahead, do Come As You Are, and come back to this. But I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2, 3, 4, and let's break that into sections. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down. So pause and try to do that if you want, but this is like bonus footage. If you only got good at rhythms 1 through 3, it would be totally fine. And you should only try this if that's feeling less mechanical, like you're actually good at them. Let's consider this optional extra credit work. But yeah. Down, 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 up, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and great. Okay, we also did, and this has happened right around 11 minutes into your recording, Come As You Are intro by Nirvana. Let's go ahead and get situated where we've got 1, 2, 3 fingers all chilling on the 6th string, such that they each occupy a fret. It doesn't matter if you're pushing down or not. The point is to get our hand into that position where, as opposed to something like this or whatever might be going on, that'll get you into a thumb juxtaposition that's workable. And now you may find your thumb down lower on the fretboard because we need to reach. The good news is we're not even using this finger. We were just getting in position. We're going. So these were just open. And then when I go between these two notes, I'm not going picking my first finger up. It'll feel like I'm pushing down 1 finger, now 2 fingers, as though I might go back to it at any time, and that's how we're going to go across the board. If I'm going, that felt like 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 fingers. There's the obvious why are we doing this. So yeah, if I'm fretting here, I just made the string shorter, and whatever I do back here, nothing gets picked, isn't affected. Cool. So this is all going to be on your 6th and 4th string over here. Let's go. And those are all downs. You want to land such that you're just touching 1 string. And you can do this out of rhythm initially. It's all good. Just be sure you don't pick your first finger up. Having done that, we actually don't have to move our left hand for the next thing. We're just going. And there we get to the concept of alternate picking. Just remove your left hand and visually look at your right hand. If I was going to hit the 6th string and 5th string back and forth, we'd see me going down, since there's no 7th string to be on the way to. And then hitting the 5th string up because I'm on my way to get back in position for this. So we don't play in the little teeny space between the strings, we're playing on the far side like that. And in this song, we're actually going right here. So, pause and get good at that. And again, it's imperative that you land such that you're just touching 1 string and this finger's still in the conversation. There we are. And when we get to there, we're just going right back down, and right away we see why is my first finger there coming into play. And that last note that you fret here with your middle finger on the 5th string the 2nd string down, which we call the 5th string, or A string, you're going to hold it down, not go just like that. That's the last 3 notes. It'll feel like I'm pushing down with my middle finger. And you would definitely want to do some reps where you just do that section. Most fun and tempting way to learn this. Play the whole thing with pauses, kind of focus. Hope you get better at it. What I really want you to do is get good at this. Focused attempt, pause, focused attempt. You'll get good at it really fast compared to what'll happen just kind of or doing it in the context of trying to play the whole song. This will be more relevant when we're working on more difficult material, but everything's difficult right now. So having gotten good at it, now you're just going. And then before you move on to the 3rd section, actually mastering doing those 2 consecutively. like you not to even have played the next riff until you're somewhat competent at doing that, giving everything is difficult at this point in your hands blurred and so forth. The point is, again, we're memorizing as we go. We're completing it as we go. Because similar ideas will come up subsequently. And it's how our muscle memory truly wants to accept this information and comprehend it and be in a focused headspace, not a guessing headspace. The dance steps versus dancing analogy. We program ourselves to do this. We go over, this is what I'm going to be doing when I play this song. And then we actually just go, okay, now I'm dancing. I'm going to play it. It's a different part of our mind. But there we are. One of a good practice tempo might be like. I was just doing that to emphasize there's a pause there. You've heard this song a bunch of times. If you go to listen to their version of it, they actually have their guitars tuned lower. This is totally what their hands are doing, so you won't be able to play along, but if you watch a video, you'll see this is how you play, come as you are. Awesome. So we've been doing some strumming, we've been doing some picking, talked about how to hold the guitar. All of this is supposed to be difficult at first. Something I'm sure I said word for word yesterday. As far as all of this is concerned, you're at the gym and you're not just working on strength, you're working on gymnastics. So it will very quickly become less mechanical, and as you're in pain, significantly less percent of the time, might not have been the best sentence ever structurally, your hand begins to hurt less. You'll have more conscious focus. So yeah, it will not always hurt this much, and go ahead and push down really hard, and you want to practice through the pain, but not to where you injure yourself. The good news is, aside from physically cutting your left hand, which isn't likely to happen, you're not going to injure yourself. So try to just not stop practicing when your left hand gets tired. All right, I will see you guys hopefully very soon. I'll email each one of you about potentially scheduling your next lesson. My pleasure to meet you. Have a good one.